Good morning, welcome back to Archeage 101. This is Jalan with the Paradox Gaming Network, and today we've got two topics. I'm going to talk about Archer armor finally, and I'm going to talk about the upcoming 4.0 notes. As always, these are all the different ways to get in touch with me. Discord is the easiest, Jalan, hashtag 8446. And don't forget that Archeage 101 goes live on Twitch on Fridays at 1000 Pacific, 1300 Eastern, and 1800 GMT. So let's get right into today's topics. We're going to talk about Archer gearing, finally. It's taken me forever to do the theorycraft on this. And then I want to make sure to hit some of the highlights for 4.0. I'm going to do some highlights on 4.0 every week between now and December 6th. I will be going live on Twitch once it is up on the PTS. So let me tell you, Archer has been the absolute hardest of the gear to theorycraft out. You're going to see in just a second why it is really a rough decision. And in order to keep this one clean and neat, I have not done anything beyond the gear and the bow. I haven't tempered any of the gear, haven't put any gems in, because you need to see this completely raw. Because you're going to have to make a lot of decisions on Archer gear. So with the numbers you're about to see, it is epic gear, unless otherwise noted, and no enchants, except I did put a 115% temper on the bow, and no costumes, no undergarments, no cloaks, no anything. And so what we have is that if we run a full Ionid Gale set on the left, and this is epic, remember, you're going to have about 1012 ranged attack. You're going to have almost a 21% crit rate, 60% ranged crit damage, and your evasion is going to be 16.5. Now over on the right, you're going to see if you run a 4-piece Gale with the obsidian head, gloves, and boots, you're going to be just a fraction, just a little tiny bit higher on the ranged attack. You're going to be a lot lower on the ranged crit rate, but you're going to be a lot higher on the ranged crit damage. And your evasion is going to be just a touch higher. So right here, it really is going to depend on if you want to have more crits or if you want to have bigger crits. Now, 4.0 is going to be bringing with it some new gems for the headpiece and for the weapons. Archers, you really need to get into the theorycraft of how you're going to gem. Because if you haven't started on your gear at all, you have a big opportunity to decide right now which path you want to go down. To help you decide on Ionid 7/7 or 4-piece Gale and 3 Obsidian, you can see that the Obsidian is going to give you a little bit more in the way of hit points, but the Ionid Gale is going to give you more in defense and magic defense. Now, this gear was so hard to do this for because with the Ionid Stone set versus the Obsidian healing gear, you could clearly see Stone was more defensive and tanky, Obsidian was higher healing. So there hasn't really been a clear, defined breakout. What I did want to show you was a full Divine Aranor set. The full Divine Aranor set is going to increase your ranged attack, and it's going to give you a higher ranged rate than the Obsidian split out, but lower than the Ionid Gale, because the Ionid Gale has that 7-point passive. The ranged crit damage, though, won't even get up to where the Ionid Gale is, and the evasion is higher than both other sets. Obviously, the hit points are higher, the defense is higher, and the magic defense is higher because it is a whole higher tier of a set. Realize, though, a Divine Aranor set is going to set you back a lot more gold, but it's also going to have the advantage of the increased defense, toughness, resilience from the Aranor enchants. So if you're going to go that route, you could also do a splice of 4 Aranor, 3 Obsidian, but that was like way far into the weeds, and I don't want to like drive people down too many different theories. So as you can see, Ionid Gale or Obsidian, you're going to be real close. It's going to really matter on if you want to go for ranged crit rate or damage. So moving into 4.0, big thing with gear. Now, everyone knows in all my other videos I talked about get your weapon done, get your pants done, get your chest done, then worry about everything else. Right now, it is the 14th of November, so you have plenty of time to stop what you're doing, get your gloves up to whatever tier you're going to want your gloves at, if you're going to want evasion gems. After the patch goes live, there is no more evasion gems, so if you don't already have them slotted, you will not be able to get them and slot them. If you already do have them slotted, you will get to keep the gems that are already in your gear. This also goes for pants. Now, this isn't as big of a problem because the toughness gems are only dropping from 353 to 320. So for 6 gems, it's a total loss of 138. But I just have to ask why. This makes no damn sense to me at all, but apparently XL wanted to have a slight difference between those people who risked it and rolled in all their gems from the honor breakable kind to the people who get the auto slot gems with no failures. Also going into 4.0, your Halsey neck, there is no more RNG on the neck. Each step will take Starlight Archeum, and it's 100% guaranteed to go up. My recommendation is that try to get your neck piece up to 9 to save yourself some Archeum. I also recommend healers have both necklaces. I actually have a rank 9 of the other version. Everyone usually takes the damage reduction one. Cast time is going to change in 4.5, so might as well get that other neck up to rank 9, and then it'll be an easy finish off to get that one up to rank 13 as well. Consumables. This is going to change 2 really big things. Number 1, people who do cooking and printing and alchemy for the Kingdom Shadows, you're about to see a huge hole punched into your profits. The food consumables are all going to change. Roast ribs are changing. They're actually getting buffed in and of themselves. You're going to get a flat 39 melee ranged attack or magic attack, or 39 healing power when you use them, versus 60 of the stat. You're also going to get 1700 health, and then PvE skill damage and PvE damage. So all in all, the roast ribs got a little bit of a boost because currently you get 12 points towards your attack or magic attack when you eat the food. Now, healers are going to argue with me and be like, well, I get more than 13 healing power, or I get more than 12 healing power. That's because you have the 9% spirit buff that takes you to 13.08. So all in all, we're getting a buff from the roast ribs. However, drinks are gone, tables are gone, unstoppable wills are gone, kingdom shadows are gone, and runes are gone. So if you were making your profit, making any of these things, you just saw your profit margin chopped into. Honor pots. Honor pots are now going to be tradable, but they took a huge hit. They're only going to give 64 attack or healing power, or 720 focus. They've taken out the resilience, but more importantly, they took out the toughness honor pot. And this is going to be huge because the toughness honor pot used to get you about 7% mitigation if you popped one. So realize those are gone. Also, anybody that was over 426.75 on their stat just took a huge nerf. What I mean by that is, for me, I have 1375 healing power unbuffed. The honor pot took me to 1581 versus I'll only be at 1439. So I'm losing about 142 healing power. But Fortuna Die and Divine Die now work on the honor pot. So I think it said it took it from 64 to 79, somewhere in around there, based on the roll. So Fortuna Die and Divine Die aren't gone. They are just now applied to the honor pots. Big thing, a big huge buff is the war drums. They will now give a 5% buff to melee, ranged, magic, and healing power. So for Argents and Paladins, you're actually going to get a huge kind of buff here because you're going to get it to your magic, or I'm sorry, your healing power and your attack. But the big one here is this 5% damage reduction up from 2%. It is really now becoming possible to push over 50% damage reduction, and that's straight up before toughness. So I kind of see where they're going with the stats. Just realize that if you don't own your own war drum and you don't know somebody that does, or you don't run with somebody that does, you're going to want one. But wait until 4.0 to make it because the mats to make the war drum actually go down. The big one people have been waiting for is finally we're getting a fix to arenas. Arenas will now be cross-server, so no longer will we wait forever to get a match. They no longer give honor, they give Curios medals, which there is now a Curios shop. All of the titles have moved into the shop, the instruments moved into the shop, and the turtle boat is in the shop. I can tell you that if you lose every single one of your matches, it takes about 1,700 matches to get the 3 new titles, but the benefit is that the new naval arena will give a healthy amount of Curios medals, so that should help you chew through the ones you need. With this little bit of time left between now and 4.0, I do recommend that if you want those titles, like General or First Rank Knight, I recommend getting those with Honor, because Honor is really easy to get right now, and you're going to need Curios medals to get them in 4.0. The balanced arenas have changed. You will now choose whether or not you want cloth, leather, or plate, and then you will pick your weapon combination, sword and board, dual weapons, or two-hander, and then you will pick your stats and attributes. Now, archers, there isn't actually a I want archer stats or I want archer gear. This could be a hindrance to you, or it could be that they're finally making it so that builds like Outrider are going to be able to be done quite well. So we'll just have to wait and see how archers get affected. Some UI changes. We are getting a wide mode camera finally, so it's going to eliminate the need for the FOV mod, maybe. I know a lot of people still use the FOV mod for the fisheye ability to see like hundreds of meters around you. And we are getting another skill bar. So for those people that find that having 48 icons on your screen isn't enough, we're going to be going up to 60. And finally, just some miscellaneous other on the 4.0. No more RNG on gems. They will go in. They will be expensive to slot in the last gem. I've seen 600, almost 700 gold on those last gem slots, but that certainly is better than breaking them. There is a new title system, which I covered more in depth when I streamed last week, but between now and 4.0, go and get as many titles as you can, because you will be able to apply an icon to your name, and I don't have any idea what that stuff does, but I'm going to get on the PTS so that I can hopefully next week and while I'm streaming give you some better information. And then finally, we are finally getting the 100-man raids, so no more of being locked out of CR and GR during prime time because we can only have 50 people in the raid. Hey, you. Yes, you. Yeah, you. I'm talking to you. Hit that subscribe button. Watch a couple of more videos. Go check out our website.